Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Practical English Learning Program again. Today, I'm gonna be explaining adverb clause of time. First of all, I want you to know that adverb clause functions just like an adverb. An adverb is used to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Adverb clause is also used to modify verb, an adjective, or another adverb in its main clause. An adverb clause is used as a part of a complex sentence. A complex sentence is the combination of two clauses, one independent clause and one dependent clause, right? So that dependent clause could be adjective clause, could be adverb clause, or could be noun clause. An adverb clause cannot stand alone as a simple sentence. Why? Because it is a dependent clause. If it's alone, it does not give a complete meaning. It has to be combined with an independent clause in order to give a complete meaning. So there are some rules while using adverb clauses in complex sentences to be followed. As a general rule, whenever you want to use your independent clause first, which starts with the subject, you do not need any comma in the middle of your sentence because the conjunction goes to the middle of the sentence. So it's there to separate your two clauses. You don't need, any comma. But if you use your adverb clause, which is a dependent clause first in your sentence, then you need a comma right in the middle of your sentence. Before the subject of the independent clause appears, you need a comma there. That's one rule. Now, one more thing which is very important. No future tense in adverb clause. We can never use a future tense in adverb clause of time, We can use it in other types of adverb clauses. So I'm saying this about adverb clause of time. No future tense in adverb clause of time. And it will be explained further, after I start explaining these examples. So we have some words over here. These words could be called connectors, linkers, adverb clause words. And they're different terms. You can call them linkers or connectors or adverb clause words. And they're divided into different groups. They're conjunctions and transitions and, prepositions. So most of these words function as conjunctions, but some of them have double functions. As I've told you in the previous lessons many times, that subordinating conjunctions are always followed by subject plus verb. Always in English language. When you have, a subordinate clause and you use a subordinating conjunction, it is always followed by subject plus verb. But prepositions can't be followed by subject plus verb. Prepositions should be followed by objects, object nouns or object pronouns, okay? So some of these words have double functions. They can function both as conjunctions or as prepositions, okay? If they are followed by subject plus verb, they function as conjunctions. If they are followed by objects, like object nouns or object pronouns, then they function as prepositions. And while explaining these examples, I'm gonna, specify that. I'm gonna clarify, that point. So these words, when or by the time, these two conjunctions have the same meanings, and they mean at that time. Then you have while and as, and while is somehow more formal, and as is somehow, informal, and it's commonly used in spoken English. But keep in mind that whenever you use while in your complex sentence, try to use it in a continuous tense. There's a difference between when and while, okay? You can use when in simple tenses, But while should be commonly used in a continuous tense, okay? And as is also used in continuous tenses, but it's more common spoken English, and while could be used somehow in, formal, in academic English, in written English. But I mean, a lot of people use it in spoken English as well. It's not a problem, okay? So while means during that time. It means that something is going on, okay? And I'm gonna, explain that further, when we come to the examples. Before means earlier than, after means later than, since means an adverb clause of time. Because inshallah, when we cover adverb clause of cause and effect, some of these words will be used there with different meanings, okay? Here, since means from that time up to now. From that time up to present time, up to now. And until or till, it has, double functions. Until is more formal, till is less formal. Till could be used a lot in spoken English, and until could be used somehow in formal English. They have the same meanings. So it can be used as a conjunction. It can be followed by subject plus verb, or it can be used as a preposition, okay? So now, if you use it as a preposition, it means up to that time. For example, I will teach this class until 5 p.m. So here it functions as a preposition, right? Which means up to that time. But when it is used as a conjunction, it means like, for example, you will not improve your English until you study hard, okay? So the action in adverb clause must take place, okay? Otherwise, the result in its main clause or independent clause will not exist, okay? So, for example, something will not happen, okay, because of something else, but if whatever we mention in adverb clause, that happens, so something in the previous clause could happen. So you cannot improve your English until you study hard. Okay, the action of improving your English will not take place until the action of studying hard takes place first. Does it make sense to you? Okay. Or for example, we won't go outside until he comes here. So the action of going outside will not take place, okay, before the action of his, coming happens. Before he comes, okay? So as soon as or once. They have the same meanings. Again, as soon as is more formal, once is, commonly used in spoken English. They have the same meanings. It means like something, an action will happen or will take place right after the previous action is over, okay? And sometimes the word just is added in order to emphasize the idea of that something is going to happen immediately, okay? For example, just as soon as I graduate from university, I'll be looking for a job. So the action for looking a job will take place right after the previous action is over. Let me give you another simple example here. Look. Just as soon as I finish teaching this class, I'll go and drink some tea outside, okay? See, one action is in progress, right? But as soon as this action is over, the other action will take place. Okay, so that's the idea. And so long as these two, conjunctions have the same meanings, as long as it would be somehow more formal, so long as could be somehow like commonly used in spoken English, but they have the same meanings. So it means during all that time. During all that time. As long as you are the students of a Tarot, you have to follow the rules of the administration. See? So following the rules of administration should continue during all the period of time that you are students here. Okay? As long as, so long as. They mean what? They mean during all that time. Okay? As long as there is war in our country, as long as there is war in our country, we won't have an advanced country. So what does that mean? It means that during all that time that war exists in our country, okay, we're not going to be able to improve our country. Our country will not be an advanced country, okay? So during all that time. Finally, whenever means like anytime, okay? Whenever means anytime. Whenever I see you, you look nervous. Whenever I get hungry, there's pain in my stomach, right? Okay? So, whenever means anytime, okay? So now look at these examples. I want to give you some more explanation about adverb clause within a few minutes. Look at the first example. We had drunk tea when our father came home. Or we had drunk tea by the time our father came home, okay? So now, adverb clause of time starts here, when our father came home, okay? And now, it usually answers the question when. When had we drunk tea? For example, that's the question, okay? Okay? So it somehow specifies the time of an action in its main clause, okay? So now if you said this way, we had drunk tea when our father came home, it will be a part of academic English, a part of, more formal English. But you can use simple past tense with simple past tense. For example, we drank tea when our father came home. But it will somehow change the meaning. I mean, the concept will be different. Because here is past perfect tense, it means the action was done before the other action took place, okay? But if you use simple past tense, we drank tea when our father came home, it means first this action, and adverb clause happened, and then the other action. But now the question is that when did we drink tea, or when had we drunk tea? Okay, that's the question. So your adverb clause of time answers this question, which is asked with the WH question or when, okay? It somehow specifies the time of an action in its main clause. And as I told you before, if you bring your independent clause first, no comma is required in the middle of your sentence, okay? But look at this, the next example. While I was teaching my class, someone called me. Okay? I told you that most commonly while or as, these both conjunctions have the same meanings, but as is somehow more common in spoken English, and while could be used in both, formal, informal, written, or spoken English. But we need a kind of continuous, tense. Okay? In a clause in which we use while, our dependent clause or adverb clause of time, there should be continuous tense. Yeah, there could be a simple tense if your main verb is not action verb. If it's a state verb. For example, while I was in Jalalabad, I visited a lot of my relatives. See, while I was in Jalalabad, I used the to be verb as a main verb here. And it's a state verb. It doesn't show action. Understood? You can use while and as in simple tense, simple present, simple past, okay? But the main verb should be a state verb. If it's action verb, it should be a continuous tense. Okay, so while I was teaching my class, someone called me. It means the action of teaching was in progress, and then the other action happened, okay? And you can also say, for example, when I taught my class, he entered the classroom. For example, possible. You can use when in both clauses, right? But if you want to use while, you should have a continuous tense. Understood? Next, her English was weak before she joined Ataru. As I told you before, some of these conjunctions have double functions. If they are followed by subject plus verb, like here in this example, she is the subject and join is the main verb form. So here in this sentence, it functions as a conjunction. But it can also function as a preposition. How? You can say, her English was weak before joining Ataru. So now joining Ataru is a German phrase. And a German phrase can function as object, as subject, as object, okay, as object of preposition, right? As a complement of to be verb, right? Okay. Or for example, you can say her English was weak before 2020, before 2018. Okay. So now the point is that this word has double functions. It can function as a conjunction and it can function as a preposition. Understood? I mean, when cannot be used as a preposition. Got the point? Okay. By the time cannot be used as a preposition. Okay. So they have only one function. They function as conjunctions. And now look here. After I finish teaching this class, I will go to Mubarak Center. I told you one thing, and you should keep in mind that no future tense in adverb clause of time. We can never ever use future tense in adverb clause of time, okay? Look, after I finish teaching this class, I will go to Mubarak Center. In your independent class or main class, you have simple future tense, right? Okay? And now, after I finish teaching this class, okay, in your adverb class, even for example, if you, instead of teaching this class now, if you say, after I finish teaching my class tomorrow, I will go to Mubarak Center. Both things happen in the future. For example, okay? But no future tense in adverb clause of time. Understood? Or for example, when he comes, I will talk to him. We cannot say when he will come, I will talk to him. And even if you interpret this sentence word for word into your own language, it doesn't make sense. In Pashto, in Dari, okay? After he comes, I will talk to him. بعد از او که او بیاید من امرش صحبت خواهد کردم. روز طلاقی چه اگر راشی زبان سر خبری اوکر. If somebody says بعد از او که او خواهد بیاید من امرش صحبت خواهد کردم. Does it make sense? Does it sound good? Does it sound correct? Okay? So no future tense in adverb clause of time. For example, you talk about something in the future, you know that whatever you say, both of your actions, the action in your main clause and the action in your adverb clause, happen in the future. But still, in adverb clause of time, you use simple present tense. And it means that you use present tense in the future, or use present tense for the future meaning. Understood? Got the point?
Yes.
Okay. So, now, after can also function both as a conjunction or as a preposition, okay? If it is followed by subject plus verb, like in this sentence, here it functions as a conjunction, right? But you can bring, an object, and in that case, it will be functioning as a preposition. For example, after finishing this class, I'm not gonna say after finishing teaching this class, okay, because two, verb ings next to each other, doesn't sound, very incorrect. So after finishing this class, I'll go outside. After 2 p.m., I'll go outside. After 2020, I will travel to India. You see that? So you can use it as a preposition and you can use it as a conjunction. Okay. Since. Now, I want you to pay close attention. This is very important. Look. The same word since in adverb clause of cause and effect has a different meaning. It means because there, and you can use this word in different tenses. But when you use since in adverb clause of time, it must be followed by simple past tense if you use it as a conjunction. Like here in this sentence. Look. It is followed by subject plus verb, and therefore it functions as a conjunction. So there must be simple past tense in your adverb clause of time if you are using since, the word since, okay? In your next clause, there must be present perfect or present perfect continuous tense. You got the point? You got it? So these other conjunctions could be used, in different tenses. present with present, or present with future, or past with past, or simple past with past continuous, or simple past with past perfect. But whenever you use since in adverb clause of time, this conjunction, this word as a conjunction, because it can also function as a preposition, right? There must be simple past tense in your adverb clause of time, and there should be present perfect or present perfect continuous tense. Understood? Now look, since he graduated from university, he has been looking for a job. Since I came to Kabul, I have made a lot of friends. Okay, since I became an English teacher, I have taught thousands of students. You see that? So in since class, simple past tense, and your next class, present perfect or present perfect continuous tense. Look, you gotta keep this in mind because you cannot use any other tense here. You cannot use any simple past tense, you cannot use any future tense. There must be present perfect or present perfect continuous, right? And you cannot use any other tense here. But you may see the word since in a sentence where it is used in adverb clause of cause and effect. Okay, since you are standing, please give me a little bit water. Okay, since I'm sick, I won't go there tomorrow. Okay, in these examples, the word since means because. Okay, we don't have adverb clause of time in these examples. You got it? When it is used specifically in adverb clause of time, we have to follow these rules. Okay, simple past tense in our dependent clause, and present perfect or present perfect continuous tense. I hope you got the point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear? Okay. So now look, you can't improve your English until or till you study hard. One thing that I forgot here, I told you that this word also has double functions. If it's followed by subject plus verb, it functions as a conjunction. If it's followed by object, it functions as a preposition. For example, since 2005, I've been an English teacher. I have been an English teacher since last year, since January, since February, right? If it's followed by a noun, okay, or object pronoun, then it functions as a preposition. And you can't improve your English until or till you study hard. So now, this example means that the action of improving will not take place, or the state of improving will not take place until this action in your adverb clause of time happens. So something, this should happen first, okay? Now, this word until can be followed by subject plus verb, use subject and study verb, and here it functions as a conjunction, but these words also have double functions. If they are followed by objects, then they function as prepositions. For example, you can say, okay, I will keep teaching you until 5 p.m. Until 5 p.m. Do I have a subject and verb after until in this sentence? No. Okay. So here it functions as a preposition. Okay. You will be our students until 2001. Okay. Until December, until November, for example. Okay. So this word until can be followed by subject plus verb. And in this case, it functions as a subject, as a conjunction, okay? And it can be followed by object, noun or pronoun. In that case, it will be functioning as a preposition, okay? Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So when you use it as a preposition, it has a different meaning. It means up to that time, okay? But when you use it as a conjunction, it means the action in your main class, okay, will not take place until the action, in your adverb class takes place, okay? And as soon as once, these two have, the same meanings. As soon as more formal, once is, commonly used in spoken English and not very formal, okay? And it means an action will happen right before the previous action finishes, or right before the previous action is over, okay? So look at the example. As soon as or once we have peace in our country, I travel to many provinces, okay? As soon as or once we have peace in our country, I will travel to many provinces. So the action of traveling to many provinces will take place right after the state or the action in the previous class. Like here we have a state, we have a condition to have peace. Not an action verb, right? So right before, the previous action is over, or the previous state, exists, then the action in your main class will take place. I can give you a few quick examples here. As soon as he graduates from university, he will get married. Okay, now look. The action of getting married will take place right after the previous action is over. Okay? As soon as I drink tea, as soon as I drink some tea, I will call you. See, two actions, right? The action of calling will take place right after the previous action, drinking tea, is over. You're paying attention?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to explain that in our language. It would be even easier for you to catch. But it's advanced class, so I'm not going to explain that in Pashto Derby, okay? And plus, our videos are not just for Afghans, okay? So, yeah. Anyways, so long as I told you before, it means during all the time, okay? As long as we live in this world, we should keep praying. So during all that time that we live in this world, there's a period of time, we may live in this world for 10 years, for 20 years, 50 years, 1 year, maybe a month, maybe a few years, who knows, right? Only Allah knows about future, right? But as long as we live in this world, we should keep praying as Muslims, if we want to be successful and, in the life hereafter, in the coming life, okay? So as long as you are the students of a Tarot, you have to follow the rules and regulations of a Tarot, right? As long as there's war in our country, we will be a backward society. Okay? So during all the time that there's war in our country, the condition of being a backward society will exist. Understood? So it means during all that time. And finally, whenever, okay, means anytime, okay? And again, it answers the question, for example, when? When are you going to talk to him? When are you going to talk to that guy? Okay? I will talk to him whenever I see him. Okay? Which means anytime I see him. I may see him, after a while. I may see him tomorrow. I may see him, after an hour. But whenever I see him, I will talk to him. So, it means anytime. Understood? Okay, so now, for 5 to 10 minutes, I want you to think. I'm pretty sure that you are already familiar with some of these, conjunctions like before and after and when and why. But some of them could be new for you. So after all this explanation, if you have any questions, feel free.
No question.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, no questions at all. So will you remember the rules? If you use your adverb class first, what do you need? In your complex sentence, you need a comma, right? In the middle of your sentence, right? Okay, and if you use the independent or the main class first, then you do not need a comma, right? Because the conjunction goes to the middle of the sentence to separate the two classes, right? Okay, next, if you use the word since, the conjunction since, as a conjunction. When you use since as a conjunction, so what are the rules? Yes, in since class or in adverb class of time, there should be simple past tense. In your main class or independent class, there should be present perfect or present perfect continuous tense, right? Okay. And can we use future tense in adverb class of time? Never. Even if we talk about something that's gonna happen in the future, okay, in your main class you can use future tense. But in adverb clause of time, there should be a present tense. Okay?
After I'm done with my homework, I'll have my dinner.
Cool. Yeah. Come on. Yep.
I have been at home since I returned from India.
I have been at home since I returned from India. Perfect, right? She used the word since, the conjunction since correctly. I've been at home, present perfect tense, since I returned from India, simple past tense. Great. Come on. Come on. Yep.
As we were playing football, the rain started.
As we were playing football, the wind started. Perfect. Or while we were playing football, the wind started. Perfect. Yep.
I had driven car when my father arrived at my house.
I had driven a car when my father arrived home.
I had played cricket when my father called me.
I had played cricket when my father called me. That's right.
Once I get my salary, I'll buy a beautiful gift for my mom.
For my mom. Perfect. Perfect. Very good. Very good.
While he was asleep, someone irritated him.
While he was asleep, someone irritated him. She's right. She used the conjunction while in simple past tense, but her main verb is a state verb, to be verb, while he was asleep, and that's okay. But if you have action verb, then there should be continuous tense. Okay? Yep.
As soon as I finish the class, I will call him.
Yeah, as soon as I finish the class, I will call him. Hold on. Yeah, you have already given me enough examples. Okay. Come on.
Why do you walk when you have car?
Say again. Why do you walk?
When you have car?
Yeah, that's right. Interrogative sentence.
As soon as some troublemakers exist around here, you will not be able to improve your business.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
While I was watching the garden, rain started.
The rain started. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, nobody's using as long as, so long as, or whenever. Come on.
As long as we don't study hard, we can't pass our quizzes.
As long as we don't study hard, we can't get high score on our quiz. We can't pass our quizzes. So that's right. Okay. Come on. See, yeah.
We should keep making examples as long as we are here.
We should keep making examples as long as we're here. Perfect example. During all the time that we're here, we should keep making examples. Okay? So something is happening during a period of time. Okay, enough for today. The difference is that I don't care whatever people say, or some people with negative, ideas, or negative-minded people say. We're going to continue the way our program runs, okay? It's an actual classroom, no preparation, okay? And we're all humans. Only Allah is perfect, right? And if you make mistakes while making your examples, okay, it's okay, it's perfectly fine, because mistakes are the proof that, the proof that you're trying, okay? It's a saying in English. You got it? Okay? So you are here for improving your English. You got it? And it's a second language, right? And everything in the classroom is actual. And we don't care about people's negative ideas and stuff. Have a great time. And next time, inshallah, we will be working on adverb clause of cause and effects.